Hello, second grade. All right, so today we're going to be doing history. We're starting with chapter 39, which is called Rome and the Christians. We're doing section 1 called Nero, the Evil Emperor. And instead of you listening to an audio like you normally do in class, I know that when I posted one on Google Classroom, it didn't work quite as well for some of you, and that's okay. So what I'll do instead is I'm going to read the section to you. It is important that you do watch this video because it has a lot of important information that will help you with your worksheet that will be your homework for today. All right, so I'm just going to start reading. It's called Nero, the Evil Emperor. Augustus Caesar was a good and fair ruler of Rome. His people loved him, and his army obeyed him. His reign was a good time for the city of Rome and for all of the lands that Rome controlled. But after Augustus Caesar died, Rome had other emperors who weren't fair and just. They were cruel to their subjects. They got richer and spent more and more money on themselves, while the people of Rome got poorer and poorer. The emperor of Rome was supposed to tell the army how to fight, but the emperors after Augustus Caesar were such bad generals that the army refused to obey them. One Roman emperor even made his horse a consul and told all the people of Rome to do whatever the horse said. The worst Roman emperor of all was named Nero. Nero had everyone who disagreed with him murdered. His favorite pastime was playing the lyre. He was a very bad lyre player, but everyone was afraid to tell him so. So they all praised his terrible music. "When I die," Nero used to say, "what a loss I shall be to the art of music." And the Romans in the royal court all agreed with him because they were afraid for their lives. After Nero had been emperor of Rome for 10 years, he decided to take a vacation from Rome. He went out to his house in the country and invited his favorite friends to go with him. They had a party that went on for days and days. Meanwhile, Rome was burning. The fire began late at night in a rickety wooden building in a dark and dirty Roman street. No one knows exactly how it started, but the poor families who lived in that part of town often built small fires to keep warm. Perhaps a coal fell out of one of these fires onto the dry wooden floor. It smoldered away until the flat floorboard caught fire. The fire spread to a wall and then to the entire building, and then the flames leapt to the building next door. Soon a whole section of Rome was on fire. The fire roared along until it came up against a stone wall. The rich people of Rome had built the wall to keep fires from spreading into the wealthy part of town. But this fire was stronger than the wall. The flames leapt right over the wall and kept on burning. The people of Rome realized that this was the worst fire in Roman history. They sent a messenger to Nero to tell him what was happening. The messenger galloped hard until he reached the country house where Nero and his friends were celebrating. "Your Majesty," the messenger cried, "your city is burning." But Nero didn't even answer the messenger. He ordered him taken away before he ruined the party, and he didn't return to Rome for days more. When he finally did come back to Rome, he found his people waiting for him. Hundreds of families had been driven out of their homes. Everything they owned had been burned. They were cold and hungry. They begged Nero for help. "Remember your great ancestor, Augustus Caesar," they cried. "He gave money to every poor family in Rome. Surely you can help us out of your great wealth." Nero did give some money to the poor and the homeless, but he made a big mistake. He announced, "The fire has cleared away ugly, broken down houses and left space for my new building projects. I will take the land where those houses used to stand and build myself a new and bigger palace." The people of Rome were furious. Nero had been unpopular even before the fire. Now they hated him even more. Soon Nero realized that the Romans were on the edge of rebelling and taking his throne away. He had to find someone to blame for the fire right away. "I know who set the fire to Rome," he told the Romans. "It was those Christians. They set the fire on purpose." So this was section 1. And it says here that Nero was an unpopular emperor. So people did not like him whatsoever. And I actually have a picture of him that you can see right here. It is a little bit blurry, but there you go. So that was section 1, called Nero the Evil Emperor. So there's a couple of questions I do want to ask you, and they might help you on the worksheet, so you have to pay attention. So where was Nero when Rome burned? Where was Nero when Rome burned? All right, he was at a party at a house in the country. So do you remember how it said that he left the house, or left Rome? So he was at a party at a house in the country. Did he come back to Rome when he heard about the fire? So do you remember when the messenger said, when the messenger was sent to Nero and he came and said that Rome was burning and people needed him, but instead Nero had the messenger kicked out. So no, he stayed in the country a little while longer. He stayed for a couple more days, and he did not go to Rome to help the people when the fire started. Did Nero help the families who lost their homes? No, he did not. What did Nero do instead? Instead of helping all of those people that have lost their homes due to the fire? Well, he told the people that he would build a bigger palace where the fire had burned. And do you remember that one part where I read, it's where Nero said that where those ugly houses used to stay and now they're burned, he would use that land now to build a bigger palace. What did the people of Rome think about this? Were the people happy? Were they unhappy? What did the Romans think? So the Roman people, they were very angry with Nero. Here, many of them had lost their homes and they needed money. And they were saying how Caesar Augustus, when things like that happened, he gave to the poor and he took care of the Roman people. But now Nero was in charge and he did not help them. And when he announced that he was going to build a palace where those ugly houses were, Roman people were very angry and were not very happy with him. So now Nero started to realize, oh my goodness, the Roman people don't like me. So who did Nero blame for the fire? He blamed the Christians. He said those were the Christians who started the fire. And so he had to blame someone, and he blamed the Christians. And so later in section 2, it's called Christians in the Catacombs. We're going to learn all about what happened to the Christians and how they were blamed for the fire that they actually didn't start. All right, I realize that this was a little bit longer video, but I really, really hope that you guys listen to this and just If you have any questions, make sure to ask me, email me, or leave a comment in the Google Classroom, and I'll be happy to help you out. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.